Hey yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy DJ Reed, and we are back with another episode of the Ayo podcast. Today, I got two queens with me, DJ Lady TG and D. They're my stream mates over on Live Me, and I decided to bring them on to talk about the Caribbean culture. You feel me? Soca music, Carnival. So it was a great interview, and I'm pretty sure y'all will enjoy it and learn something from it. Before we get into that interview, like this video, share it, subscribe to the Culture Network. To get any updates on all the shows on the Culture Network, follow us at the.culture.network. Also, we got the AO collection, t-shirts, hoodies, and some other things out there for you. All the links are in the description. And at the end of this interview, I got a special promo code for you guys to get 25% off. 25% off. But if you want the code, watch the interview and you get at the end, all right? So let's get into it. I'm your boy DJ Reed, and this is the Ayo podcast. Well, hello, ladies. How are you doing?
Wonderful. How are you?
Hello, hello.
I'm so happy to have you guys on. Y'all my family. If y'all don't know, I am on an app called Live Me, and these are my streaming mates. Well, actually, they're more like my family. Higher Dimension Gang in the building.
Mhm.
Yes. So I like to say thank you so much for coming on, agreeing to come on so we can talk, have a great conversation and everything. So I want everybody to introduce themselves. So let's start. Let's start. Who I'm going to pick first? I don't know. I guess I'll stop up top to my right. She is my sister, my bestie. What's up, D? Let everybody know who you are.
Hello, hello, hello. My name is Delia. That is what my mother named me. I go by D, and I am from the beautiful island of St. Lucia.
You're St. Lucia, St. Lucia. And tell us where St. Lucia is.
So St. Lucia is located in the East Caribbean Sea, West Indies. Helen of the West is what it's better named, or better known as.
Sweet, sweet. Thank you again for coming on. And
Thank you
then
for having me.
down here, down below, if y'all can see, she is the baddest DJ in the land. She plays all the dope soca music. She'll put you on the soca game. She taught me so much about soca music. She's also a fam. That's my cuddy, my cousin right there. We got the queen herself, DJ Lady TG in the building. What's up, fam? How you doing? How you feeling?
What is good, everybody? Thank you for having me. So appreciate you for bringing me on.
And what island are you representing? What island you're coming from?
I am representing the island of Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, and where are they located at?
Trinidad and Tobago is part of the lower part of the Caribbean, about 7 miles above South America from Venezuela.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So the first thing I want to say is what to sing, y'all. That's something I learned. What to sing, y'all? What's up? What's happening?
Eh, we there, we there.
Yeah, we're there.
I'm learning. Man. I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate the culture you guys been putting me on game. It's so unique and special from what I've been learning, especially the food and the way y'all speak. Let me go to D first. You are a model. What is it like being from St. Lucia coming to the States and becoming a model? Like, how is that for you? Um, Being in the States doing that and being from St. Lucia.
So, first off, I moved from St. Lucia at the young age of 10. So it was like a cultural shock for me. I had to learn a lot to, just adjust myself to everyone else so they can understand me. I speak with my heavy accent again. I'm new to the States, and people wouldn't really understand me, so they tease me about it. My cousin and I used to watch just all kinds of shows. America's Next Top Model was the biggest thing. And that's where I learned a lot of my confidence from. Because again, moving from St. Lucia at 10 years old, everything I know, everyone I know, all my family, everything. And coming up here and then having to just, make new friends and, just meet new people all over again. So I didn't really have a lot of confidence at that time. But, watching America's Next Top Model, that gave me a lot of confidence. I couldn't really do anything about modeling until I was done with school. So I didn't start until I was 19 years old. But again, it's been an amazing experience. Just continually, I never say I'm the greatest. I have so many people who look up to me and they're just amazed by me and how I move and what I do. But I'm always learning something new. Always, always, always.
And that's awesome. That's great. I have another question for you. I want to piggyback on to something you said, but let me get to DJ Lay TG. I'll pose the same question to you. Not, but you were born in the States, right? But you still from, but your family's from Trinidad, correct?
Yes. So,
Okay.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So tell us how your family came to. I know you're not from Trinity, but I mean you're from Trinity, but you were born here in the States. But how did your family end up in the States?
Both my parents migrated from Trinidad, I want to say in the early 70s.
Mm.
They were in the U.S. Virgin Islands for a while and then migrated to New York. As immigrants, you get into the workforce pretty quickly, to establish yourself. And as, a few years went by, they had opportunities, elsewhere and eventually made it to Texas, which is where I am pretty much born and raised today. But I still hold the Caribbean culture and the music's heart.
Okay. And what was the question? Oh yeah, it's something that D said. Your was that something you had to learn how to control so people to understand? So
I'm
understand.
sorry, repeat that. That was in reference to my accent.
Yeah, is that something you had to learn how to I want to say the word kind of control for people to understand what you were saying and everything. Same thing. I know TG, you have an accent too.
Mhm.
Same. I'll ask the question to you too.
Yeah. So
Um,
I definitely did, because Americans, I'm gonna say, I hope that's not offensive to anyone, but moving to America, everyone here, Americans. So Americans didn't really understand, and I don't blame them being, young children and such. They didn't really understand what an accent was even. So I'd say things, and because it sounded so different, they wouldn't understand me. So yes, I had to fully like readjust and learn how to put an accent on my speaking, so they can understand me. So basically, I picked up a new accent. I picked up a new accent.
yeah, TG.
But I never forget where I come from, and especially if I'm surrounded with island people, my accent comes out like nothing.
Mhm. Yeah, I would say the same with me as a child growing up around Caribbean parents, family as well. I also had a heavy accent, and when I went to school, I found myself having to code switch in a sense, having different, one accent at home and then speaking differently, whether it's in public or in school. So it's having to adapt. And as I got older, just got easier for me where I subconsciously just switch without even thinking about it, depending on who I am around.
Okay, so like I said, both of your families are from the Caribbeans, but the only difference is D was born in St. Lucia, came to the States at a young age, but TG was actually born in the States. But I can say both of you guys both got the culture upbringing, the Caribbean upbringing growing up correctly while being here. So what is it like growing up having that culture as far as parenting, behavioral, you know, the way you behave, being disciplined? culture like for you guys?
Well, definitely for me, I want to say that I've always abided by the rules. You know, you set rules, tell me to do something, appropriately. If you're my parent, of course, I will listen. You tell me not to do something, I'll try my hardest not to do it. But I feel like the same morals, the same, growing up, what we were taught, I came here with the same morals. It is a little shocking sometimes to see how kids up here, they behave and how they treat their parents, how they speak to their parents. It's really shocking. I always say I could never. I could never. But again, moving, it's just we relocated, but my morals stayed the same. I remember what I was taught. So,
Yeah. To pretty much piggyback on that, I came from more of a sheltered household where you do as you told. And they do explain to you the reason why they're telling you to do something. It's not like, oh, because I said so. No, they have a valid reason behind it. And I've been always taught to respect my elders, always acknowledge them everywhere I go, no matter what time of day it is. And just maintain that respect. They call you, you answer politely. You don't say what, as I've noticed with some kids today with their parents. And it's all about the level of respect you have to give to the elders, and that is what I carried with me from what I was taught over the years.
Okay, so basically, I need to be afraid of the Caribbean parents, is what you're saying. Basically, am I correct?
Yeah, I would say you have to be on your P's and Q's.
Okay, because
Um,
yeah, y- parenting style in y'all culture is totally different than the parenting style of us Americans. And
very
y'all
much so.
y'all know how my daily life runs. Y'all see Aaliyah, y'all call the boss run everything. And that's why I be saying like, oh, she going to Texas, she going to Florida, because y'all put her in boot camp. So I respect that, and I kind of wish I had that kind of upbringing a little bit. I mean, I'm a PK, and yeah, they were strict, but I think I would be a different, quite not as crazy as I am today if y'all would put fear of God in me or something like that, and I would behave a lot more. But I digress. Um,
Do you mind if I make a comment to that?
go ahead.
Um, yeah, it's true. I hear that a lot. Some parents saying, man, if their kids had different upbringing, for example, lifestyle of the island. And that just reminded me the other day, I posted a photo. Growing up in the Caribbean, the lifestyle is so different, but just wow. I posted a photo. It's you grow up with family. Your family's your best friend. Just cousins running all up and down the road, going to the, little shop to get some sweets, whatever the case may be. So we're all just sitting on like a wall, and we're just eating our ice cream cones. There's like 6, 7 of us, and we're just sitting there. And that's what one of my aunts said. She said she has a daughter, but her daughter was born here in the States. And she says if one thing she wishes for her daughter was that she could have that lifestyle, that upbringing.
Wow.
So I definitely, I'm gonna try to raise my kids, not so much in that lifestyle per se, but for them to be a little more respectful than what I see, because it scares me what I see. It
Oh yeah.
scares me.
Yeah, these kids are wild nowadays. They ain't got no type of manners at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So growing up, both of you guys, did you guys just say in your mind it's a dream of you to be a model and a DJ? Is that what you always wanted to be growing up?
Growing up as a young child in San Lucia, I remember I wanted to be a teacher.
Oh,
I wanted to be a teacher for a while, up until maybe middle school. Then around middle school, I wanted to be a pediatrician. I guess that comes from I don't know, I'm just a nurturing person, and a lot of people, they're always asking. I got asked the other day, "Are you a nurse?" Because I had a baby. I was like nurturing the child, But no, again, modeling didn't come until after high school. I was already 19 years old when I started. So yeah, my thought just changed, but ever since then, I wanted to be a model. I wanted to be in fashion, and that hasn't changed since.
Okay. TG.
I would say for me, I knew I always wanted to do something around music, whether I really didn't know I would ever become a DJ, to be honest. I'm more of a tech person, so I'm always tinkering with something in the house, whether it's a stereo, a computer, or something. So I knew I was destined to be in that type of environment, but to become a DJ, I didn't become one until 2007. So it's been about over 15 years since I've been off and on getting into, the DJ scene and everything. But so far, it's been a rewarding experience. Some ups and downs, of course, but overall, a very memorable experience.
Okay, and that's a great segue into something you said earlier. Your love for soca music.
Mhm.
What is it about soca music that's just so different that got everybody up and moving and doing the two step? Well, not two step, just moving around and everything. What is it about soca music that people are missing today and don't understand? Because when you guys got me onto soca music, I said, okay, I like this. You know my favorite song. We like to drink and party all night or all day. Like
Um,
Yeah, TG. Tell us, if you know a little history of soca, fill us in.
well, a little history of soca. It's a combination of calypso and soul music, and that originated from a legendary artist from, I want to say, late 60s into the 70s by the late Grass Shorty I. So he's the one who created soca music across all islands and inspired a lot of legends to come up and perform in the genre. So what got me into it is just captivating, and it's always described as happy music because the moment you hear the beat, you're automatically in the mood. You're chipper. You're in a good mood. You're ready to move, and I think that is what has me so in tune with it so frequently because it's there, and not a lot of people know what soca music is. So I took it into account, of course, becoming a DJ. Be like, well, hey, I'm gonna spread this as much as I can around the world. That way, many people will know what soca music is. I've had people ask me questions. Hey, what is this? Where'd it come from? And things like that. So they're intrigued and they're interested. So with that and my enjoyment of the genre overall is what keeps me going with the music every time.
And this next question is for D2. Do you feel soca music is on the rise now? Do you think it's getting a lot more attention now?
Oh yes, most definitely. Most definitely. You see all these different collaborations now. You see all these artists, and they're traveling to different locations, different destinations just to basically spread the message of soca music. And I definitely believe that it's something big is coming with soca. Everybody gonna know what soca is.
TG?
Yeah, I do see it. It's on the rise. It does, there's always room for improvement. There's always room for opportunity. But I do definitely see, you know, a lot more recognition of soca music is coming into play. So with different artists coming and going throughout the US, traveling to different countries, performing their music, I can see where the unity is coming in from different cultures and, background and stuff. not only supporting their own culture, but also more interested in the Caribbean culture as well.
So Burner Boy, is he soca or is he Afrobeats?
He is more Afrobeats, but he does a lot of collaboration with the any type of Caribbean artist or soca artist or what have you. But yeah, he's more into the Afrobeat type of genre.
With him doing a lot of collaborations with soca artists, do you think he could help more with making soca more mainstream?
I would say possibly. Oftentimes, when I think of mainstream, I think of within the US. So, collaborations with pop artists or maybe Latin artists who reside in the US here. Or sometimes they get creative. They might add little infuse R&B hip hop into it. You know, it's different styles of soca that can be incorporated. So, that's where opportunities come in where all of these collaborations can, take place.
D. So what's your when you go to a soca party? What's your go to song? Like, what's the one soca song that really gets you started, get you lit?
Oh my goodness. Which one? I go to any kind of any kind of party. It doesn't matter what they put on. It does not matter what they put on. It's the beat. It's the just the vibes, the energy. It's everything. Who told you can wine like that? I didn't know you can wine like that. Just anything, any kind of anything.
In Florida, do
I
they?
feel like I don't even have a go-to. They're all my go-to.
Uh,
You
yeah,
guys know when I play music, they're all my song. Oh, this my song. This my song. They're all my songs. I don't have a specific go-to.
yeah. When D got her music on, she's in a whole nother world, and she be forgetting that I'm there in her room sometimes because she's just in her own little club in her own room, partying to her soca music. That's how good the vibes the music brings.
Yeah.
You getting where you at, and you just let yourself go and have a good old time. And
Sometimes I have to watch myself. I get a little bit too into it. When that licky ticky hit, I get too excited.
so, in Florida, are there any spots out there for you to enjoy the Caribbean vibes with the soca music or anything like that?
There are. I don't really like, I'm not a club scene kind of person. So I do more of the like, restaurant to market eat or something. There's an area on Colonial where they have the Caribbean One Stop, and they have all the little shops you go get your roti and things like that. But there's this one club I cannot believe right now. I cannot remember the name of it, but all things Caribbean. But again, I'm not a club kind of person, so I have never been here. Yes, come after me. I live in Florida. I lived in Orlando for how long? And I cannot remember the name of that club, but just all Caribbean vibes. I heard it's good though.
It's okay. You having your own vibe.
I like more, again, I'm a foodie. I like to go eat. So, I'll be at Mr. Singh's Roti Shop or, Caribbean One Stop or whatever it is, but on West Orlando. That's the area. That's the area. West Orlando is where you get most of the Caribbean vibe.
Oh, we're gonna get into the food in a minute. PG, I know you guys got some spots because you be out and be showing that.
Excursions.
Yeah, also
Well,
you work with other promoters and stuff sometimes too. So
mhm.
how out where you are?
It varies. I mean, being in Houston, it's a widespread city, so wherever the promoters are selecting the venues, that's pretty much where the events are. But I would say mostly you would know of events maybe in downtown or sometimes in the outskirts, depending on the type of crowd that is expected. Whether it's an outdoor event, they try to kind of make it more on the outskirts where it doesn't disturb
Right.
residents, stuff like that. But as far as there's like one particular place, it's always dynamic, always changing.
So this is a question from a DJ to a DJ. I know we like to like get our set lists, our set list like ahead of time and stuff. But do you ever go into a venue and like the vibe is just totally different that messes up your whole set, and you just like, oh, I just might as well just start off with something else just to go with the vibes? Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, oftentimes. I've been in events where the vibe is totally different or a theme is set and they go completely against the theme. Or I would try to get creative with it. It's like, okay, I'll, cater to the crowd a little bit, give a little introduction, but once it's time to go, I'm like, okay, it's time to get this party started. So I always try to bring creativity. I don't like to go behind the last DJ and do the same thing. Unfortunately, that is the norm with being in a venue with some DJs. The mindset some DJs have is, oh, he played that song set, I can play that but better. But it's like, no, come differently. There's so much music out there that should be played, not just the top 10 or top 40. So, I always aim to switch it up and, be unpredictable. So that's just my DJ style.
I like that.
I respect. That's cool. I like that. Now let's talk about the food. Dee brought the food up, so we all look food. That's something we all be doing. It's like we
The
be,
food.
you know, oh, oh, I gotta get something to eat, or we're snacking on something. So that's like one of our things we all could just brings us together and relate to.
Mhm.
We're talking about Caribbean food. Is the menu kind of different coming from with Saint Lucia and Trinidad, or can you say it's all kind of the same thing? It's all in the same boat.
We have different, I mean, there in the Caribbean, there's a lot of similar dishes, but very different from, each island. Island to island would have their different dishes. One that I enjoy that I actually did recently, I love saltfish. So I did fish cakes, better known for us, or on our island, it's better known as aqua. So I made some of those. Another thing with saltfish that I'm looking forward to making with the family, I asked my dad to barbecue, is fig salad. So it's going to be fig, which is the green bananas, but fig mashed up, and then you put the saltfish in it. Now, when you cook your saltfish, you put your onions, your peppers, make it look nice, make it nice and tasty. Mix that in, and then with some barbecue chicken. Put the Saint Lucian with the American. Um, oh my goodness, so much dumpling, chicken backs, finger foods, like foods that you eat with your hands. Literally, if you have some plantain or some yam, some dashin, any kind of anything with your saltfish or your chicken back, you eat that with your hand. I love it. I love it. I love it. But here, everything's fast food, fast food, fast food. I very much still like to cook at home. My husband enjoys cooking. So yeah, we do a lot of home cooking. And I try to bring, more of my culture into the relationship basically. So, when we have kids, our kids know of all our cultures, just as, my husband does, he brings, his cultural foods into into the family as well. So
Cool. TG. If I went to Trinidad, what should I expect to eat over there? What's a good thing I should try, or the first thing I should try?
The moment you land in Trinidad, as you leave the airport, you have to try doubles, which is a floured bara, which has chickpeas, real seasoned chickpeas that is in a curry type of sauce. But once you try that, you're officially in Trinidad, per se. So there's so many other dishes that you can try. There's an argument with among many of the Caribbean islands of who has the best KFC because they do have KFC in the Caribbean. And other dishes that are like signature dishes are the roti, callaloo is another dish, which is my personal favorite. And you cook that with some brown stew chicken, and maybe some macaroni, mac and cheese. Let me say it properly here, but we call it macaroni pie. And, it's different. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you just throw it in one plate, and you pretty much have a meal that's like feeling like it's Thanksgiving every day, pretty much. So I like to call it like the Caribbean soul food compared to American soul food.
Wow.
Yeah.
Macaroni and pie?
Yes.
Okay. Does it have the burnt edges?
Huh?
Does it have the brown and crispy on top with the burnt edges?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
okay, then yeah, I'm gonna call it macaroni and pie if it's the same. Yeah, cool. So there's one food that you mentioned. It was called roti,
Hmm.
and one thing I learned from the both of you is that a universal food for throughout all of the Caribbean.
Yeah, you
I'd say so.
can.
Mhm.
It's originated from the East Indian
Yeah.
territory, but as more Indians have migrated into the Caribbean and different places, they've adopted, I guess, their own version of roti and curry, which goes with the roti. So that is, I would say, another signature dish among the Caribbean, but I would say especially among Trinidad.
Okay. I have one last question, and then I'm gonna get into my next segment. It's gonna be the fun segment. Um, the food here in the States is not as good as back home. I know that, even if they try to attempt it. Am I
In some cases, yeah, depending on the ingredients we're using, if it is available, then we know, hey, this is going to be really good and really enjoyable. But if, it's lacking, some people try to improvise, they do the best they can, and some are hit and miss.
is it hard to find good Caribbean food out in your areas? Because I heard stories that someone drove like 45 miles or 45 minutes away from home just to get some roti.
Yeah,
So is that really the case? Is it
yeah, it
so
is.
want to drive 45 minutes to go get it?
It is. I mean, we have local spots, close to where we live, but if you want the real good stuff, you got to really search for it. It's not you know, a one time thing like, oh, I had some of this and that's it. And it was really, no, you have to look for it. So,
Is that because the Caribbean community just don't want to put the effort into sharing it out there, or
um, I think they're more trying to cater to the American comfort way of eating because we make our foods with a lot of spices.
hmm
A lot of people would enjoy spices or can handle it. So they try to, I guess, dumb it down as far as the seasoning and the ingredients that they use. But for someone who is from the Caribbean and is partaking in that, they're not going to enjoy it as much because they would know, how it's normally prepared and how it's normally cooked. So I think with trying to cater to the different cultures here, as America is so diverse, I think that is where, they kind of take away from the authenticity, of the actual food or how it's made.
and I can imagine for both of you guys in your areas that community is growing. Am I right
Mhm.
in that? So I would think they will want to bring that into the community for their people to enjoy, to have that experience of home and not, water down their home cooking. Uh,
Right.
I'll give this question to D. What would you like to see from more of your Caribbean community to make it feel more like home for you?
What would I like to see more from my Caribbean community to make it feel more like home?
Yes.
Well, again, for I have that community, where we, produce the food, the music, and things of that such. Um, we have, like, right now, it's Carnival weekend. They downtown fetting it up right now. Um, Purse. I don't know.
Because I mean, like when
I'm
you
like more focused on like me and what I can do for, my island, my people
mhm,
there.
okay,
Not so much of what's going on here, because again, I feel like here we have a whole area. We have a whole side of town catered to Caribbean people. They have the food, they have, the music, they sell not clothing per se, but you can find cultural pieces. So I feel like here, not so much what I expect from them here or what I want to see here, but more what I expect from, the people back home and what
mm.
changes I want to see back home.
Well, let me ask you this: back to the food. Is the food just as good as back home in that community? That
I mean, when I have my mom make, if my parents cook, my mom or my dad,
uh
there we go.
that's your
There we go.
okay. But as far as like Caribbean style,
Anything else I eat outside of the home, yes, because then if I've eaten it more than once, then yes, I'm satisfied. Like you were mentioning about driving, a distance for roti. My husband will do that. We want roti bad enough, and we know that location, and we know the quality. He will drive the distance to go get that roti,
but do
you
you
know?
more uh restaurants with that type of quality close nearby, or just more in the area so you wouldn't have to drive? I know it's good. The drive is good to get what you want, but don't you wish there was like a lot more establishments, just spread it out more?
Here's the thing, the establishments are located. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I want to say they're located where they need to be, if that makes sense to you guys. Because not everyone can do everything. Kind of like what TG was saying, it's not a matter of, you teaching them, but it's a matter of how they pick up on it. Because you could teach somebody all day, every day. If they can't learn it, they can't learn it. So just because you teach them how, what seasonings you use and how you do something doesn't mean it's going to come out the same. So again, where they need to be on the west side is where there's the largest population for Caribbean people. Now, if there was a large population over here, yes, I'd go and try it out. There are locations, we just haven't tried them because we moved here like a year and a half ago to the location we're in. And we haven't been able to want to go out and, we've been going out and trying things. We discovered a really nice Mexican place, but as far as Caribbean places, we're just like, let's just go back to where we know,
Mhm.
because it's not easy to produce that kind of quality of food. So we just kind of go back to what we know instead of trying something new, and then, the fear of being disappointed. I know it's not fair to do that, but that's what we're doing.
Gotcha. I completely understand.
Yeah.
TG, I know it be popping and lit where you be at, because I see where you be at and where
Right.
you. So how do you feel it is out there? The community is.
Um, the community here is pretty widespread as far as, different businesses, different food establishments. Uh, Maybe different side of towns, you are bound to see some sort of Caribbean location, whether it's a restaurant or a type of business. Um, I just wish it was more centralized, but it's more of the outskirts unless there is an event and the businesses decide to come out to be vendors, that's when you start finding out more businesses that actually do exist. But it's been a large improvement since years ago, because years ago you used to be lucky to find someone cooking in their home to sell food. But now we have so many restaurants in the city that anyone can go to. They support different businesses, different events, and the unity is coming together. Still can do some improvement, but it's a lot more better than it has been in the past.
Okay. Now, I want to talk about Carnival.
All
Uh,
right.
I know there's a Carnival coming up in June out here in Hollywood, and TG and I will be attending that. But and I know Carnival is a great time, and you gotta get ready for that because it's, may I say, super lit. So, my first question is, what is the difference between Carnival in the States and then the carnivals on the islands? What's the major difference?
Um, I would say the difference in with Carnival in the islands compared to the states is in the islands you have more freedom. There's a lot more activity going on. There's a lot more flexibility to where everyone can congregate with one another. Whereas in the States, you have that to a degree, but there are restrictions. So whether it's, you can't cross a certain borderline or can't cross a certain street, they block off certain areas to where they can try to bring the culture, but it's not as open and freeing as it is in the Caribbean. Even with the events, it's the same situation. So within the Caribbean, it's more of a vibe, and in the Caribbean, that's where you meet pretty much all of the Soca artists because they are touring throughout the Caribbean and different carnivals are going on, especially throughout the summer months. But with that said, there's just a difference between having more freedom and more flexibility in the islands compared to the U.S. with restrictions.
Okay. I'll go over to D. So when I go to Carnival in St. Lucia, what can I expect? What do I need to prepare for?
I will say you need to do Hollywood Carnival in California first before you can even think about going to Lucia Carnival. Okay? My
Yeah.
people, my Lucians, with the Denry segment. You heard some of the music I play. You just have to make sure you're ready for that.
Okay.
You just have to make sure you're ready for that.
Well, what was the first carnival you went to?
The
Yeah.
first carnival, okay, so the first carnival I ever went to, well, I'm sure as a, child in San Lucia, I've been to Lucian Carnival. But the first carnival I ever played mass in was here in Florida, Orlando. That's the first carnival. I've done 3 carnivals in Orlando, and 1 in Miami. I have never, as an adult, costumed up and did Lucian Carnival.
Oh, okay. Okay. And I'll throw that question over to TG. What can I expect uh, when I go to Trinidad after Hollywood? So I know what to, after I dib and dabble in Hollywood, and I said I want to go to Trinidad. What can I expect?
I would say, first of all, after you do Hollywood, definitely prepare to have energy because there will be no sleeping. And it's straight pace from the time you land to the moment you leave, whether it's after day after carnival or a couple days after where you have to recover before you even think to travel again.
Gee.
It's that heavy. And Trinidad, they call it the greatest show on earth. So with that, carnival is 2 days. Of course, it's leading up to the carnival days, but carnival is 2 days, which is carnival Monday and Tuesday. Carnival Tuesday, you'll be all in the streets partying from sunup to sundown. So that's when I say, if you want to enjoy yourself, be prepared to have the energy.
So would it be fair to say that the carnival experiences is different on each island, or but the same energy?
I would say yes. They are different in their own way, but it's the same energy where you're keeping up with the vibes, you're keeping up with pretty much having a good time. That's the thing I try to stress to people: have a good time, take it all in. It may be something different, something new, but guarantee you will enjoy yourself.
Okay. So D, you say as a grown woman, you're ready to experience St. Lucia Carnival.
Yes, why you think I talk about it so often? I'm trying to be there in July.
So what are you? Well, you probably looked at videos on YouTube and everything, right? So what are you most excited about going back home for a carnival? What's the number one thing you're looking forward to?
Listen, it's just the vibes, the energy, the people. Like, yes, I've looked at videos, not on YouTube, on my cousin's IG. That's
Yeah.
where I look at videos, on my cousin's IG or her Snap, okay? But the people, the energy, everyone's just having fun. Everyone knows why they're there, and it's to have a good time, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Not to mention these costumes. Okay, these costumes, they nice, and
Oh,
I just want to be in one.
so can you guys tell me the significance of the costumes? What does that mean for carnival? Why do we wear costumes at carnival?
Go ahead, TG.
Oh, oh, there she go. Did you hear me, or do you need me to repeat it?
Uh, Partially, my Wi-Fi dropped.
Oh, okay, no worries. Oh no, I was wondering, what's the significance of the costumes that's worn at carnival? What's the symbolism of it?
um, to begin, Carnival has changed over the years. It's been in existence for over 100 years. So the symbolism of Carnival is celebration of freedom from slavery. So this is where the Africans were free from slavery. Those who migrated into the Caribbean, they celebrated freedom and they brought in Carnival. So back then they had limitations or restrictions where they couldn't really pray or go to church or read Bibles and things like that. That was a part of being enslaved. They were not able to partake in those things. But once they obtained that freedom, they started singing folklores, which is also known as calypso, and singing through and coming with different costumes, and different people became creative in putting different outfits together. That's where the significance of costumes came from, but it has changed over the years. Before, it was more of a covered type of attire that you would wear. It's the head tie and the head wraps, the nice tops, the skirts, but it has since evolved into more feathers and jewelry and, two piece, revealing more skin pretty much. So as far as representing what carnival is more or less the freedom of slavery. And that's what sadly a lot of people coming into learning what carnival is isn't as educated about what carnival is, but they're just into the beauty of the costumes. They just want to wear the outfit, but they don't know the significance behind that or how that came about. So with me, I always keep that in mind. Hey, it's all about the history and how we came to the place we are today as far as celebrating carnival. Because remember, even 3 years ago, there was no carnival, and that affected a lot of people. So where they couldn't, express themselves and have a good time and have that freedom, everyone was, locked down. So it's just that simply, the significance of freedom that is, what signifies carnival overall.
Okay, so we were talking about the costume. You said it was more, I would say, conservative when it first started, but now I'm just gonna say girls just got wild with it. From what I've seen, it just got wild. I know
Yes.
you guys are not doing that. You're staying true to what carnival really means and the significance of costumes. But why you guys think it went so left? Why do you think the yeah, I would say the young people, 'cause I see a lot of the young people are doing it. Why do you think the costume wearing got so left and they kind of forgotten the reasoning behind carnival?
Um, I think they probably adopted more of the Western culture, seeing celebrities on TVs wearing bikinis on TV, and maybe I kind of assuming, I'm not really sure, but they probably got some sort of inspiration from that. Like, hey, I can, instead of doing this way, I can reveal a little bit more to where they probably feel young ladies can be more revealing and still represent carnival, but little do they know it's taken away from the essence of carnival. So as far as why it went left, I think it's more of a trend thing. It's like one person started it and then everyone just kind of took it and ran with it.
Okay. D, well, your
I
thoughts?
agree with that. And as it's being spoken of, the reference I see in my head is just running across as similar to Halloween. I remember Halloween used to be dressed up fully, with your wig, probably a mask, and now everyone, wants to be a Playboy bunny. So that's what I think. It's a trend type thing. Everyone wants to be sexy, and I think that's what it is.
So
But I agree with TG.
what would you like to see more for the community to do to educate the young people on the history of carnival and the significance of the costumes and anything? What would you like to see more?
Maybe if, during Carnival there was an actual, day, or not even a whole day, but just a moment they take to kind of reflect on the past and what Carnival is and where it, came from, what it grew from, and why they're here today doing what they're doing. What paved the way for that, to just inform the community, the people, the younger generation of what it is and why they're here.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. In my experience of participating in many carnivals, I've seen where some band leaders or masqueraders would take a moment and call out the history or give it a theme based on the history of carnival. They would take a moment and give that recognition. As far as what I would like to see more for them to highlight the culture or the history, um, just give some sort of maybe an illustration to where people can etched in their minds like, hey, this is just isn't beauty costumes. This is a significance behind it. So I think more emphasis should be built on that as far as recognizing the history of carnival.
Okay. Well, June, I'm excited. I'm excited for Carnival in June in Hollywood. I'll be with DJ Lady TG. She's gonna be showing me and everything. She already told me to be ready. I gotta get some more comfortable shoes for all.
Work those knees.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that'll be my exercise for the whole weekend. So I don't have to go to no gym or nothing. I'll be doing a lot of walking and
Right.
stuff. I, y'all, next time you see me on the podcast after the carnival, I probably lost about 35 pounds maybe or something like that.
Yes.
But now I'm about to go on Google and find out where I can find me some roti and experience that because y'all make it seem like it's a wonderful, awesome experience. So I want to enjoy that. Ladies, I love you guys dearly. There's so much more we could talk about, but I know I'll have to bring you guys back on for that. I appreciate you guys sharing your culture, your islands with us. Um, One last question, and then I'll let you guys tell us where we can follow you and what you got coming up in the future. I'll go with TG first. Um, what's the one main thing you want everybody to know about Trinidad? What's the one main thing you want? This is why I love Trinidad. This is why you should go to Trinidad. What's that one thing?
Hmm, I would say the one thing outside of Carnival is the history of Trinidad. Trinidad is not only known for the carnival, but also there are historical places that come from different parts of the world that is incorporated in Trinidad that people do not know. So I would say pretty much the tourism of Trinidad is my number one.
Okay, cool. D, same question to you.
Wow, okay, so St. Lucia, and I'm not being biased, or maybe I am, who knows, but it is a beautiful island. Not only is a top, vacation destination, wedding destination, one thing I enjoyed so much going there as a child, yes, I had my cousin 5 years old climbing the pizza. But as a child, being from there, I know I've been up and down that area, climbing the pizza. The last time I went to visit was August last year. Amazing experience, historical landmarks. There's this location when you get about maybe 15 minutes up, maybe a quarter of the way. Um, Foyer is it's a area, you can eat, have drinks, get your souvenirs. And my mom loves it because she would say things and then I would take a word and then it would remind me of something. And so she'd say, oh yeah, I'm going à la poye. And then there's a song, "Ate pie poye," and I would just bust out singing the song and she'd just start laughing. And I'm like, I knew you were gonna do that. Being back was just such an amazing experience. It's a beautiful island, so much just past and history, um, learning when I went back. But again, the island itself, the historical landmarks, climb the Piton if you get a chance. Rodney Bay, be on the boat. They have the boats with the clear bottoms. You can see the fish while you're on the water, snorkeling. It's just a beautiful island, a beautiful place. Just visit one time. Visit one time, and then you can make your decision based off of that.
Okay, okay. Well, ladies, I love you. Thank you. TG, where can we find you? What you got coming up? Let the people know.
You can find me on Instagram at DJ Lady TG. And it's all across all social media platforms, same name. And just keep up with me on what I have coming up next. In Houston, we have our Houston Carnival coming up right after Hollywood, which is July 4th weekend. Numerous events are going on, so you can more than likely find me there.
Okay. And D, you the model. Where can we find your beautiful face? And
You guys can find me on IG, Instagram at IAMDELIAV. And that's pretty much where you'll find me.
well,
That's where you'll find me. That's where I'm gonna be. I'm keeping up and posting more of my work. I'm trying to figure TikTok out, so guys might be able to catch me there under the same name.
and she might be on HSN again.
And I might be on HSN again. Once they tell me what they wanted that that candid chat for.
Cool, cool, cool. Well, everybody, make sure y'all like this video, subscribe to the Culture Network on YouTube, on IG, Instagram at the.culture.network. And then also, I got some AO merch out too. So I might put a little special promo code for y'all, get a slight little, some discount for y'all to get y'all merchandise. All right. So I encourage you Ayo family, Culture Network family, to embrace the culture. You know, do your history on the islands. Go find you some good Caribbean food. Listen to some good soca music. Find you a nice little soca music playlist. In the description below, I'll put some of my soca favorite soca artists down so y'all can listen to it too. I'll get some input from D and TG too, and I'll make sure I get their suggestions in as well. All right, and make sure you go to your family instead of saying hi, go up and say, "Hey, yo,"
Hey
and
yo.
"Hey, yo," and I got something for y'all too. If you're around any drama in your life, just drink your water and mind your business. All right, all right. Again, I appreciate D and DJ Lady TG for coming on. I appreciate them. I love them to death. Those are my queens, my sisters, my fam, as you heard in the interview earlier. So I hope y'all learned something, embrace the culture, embrace soca music. There's some dope soca artists out there, and they got some good Caribbean food out there too. So, you know, wherever you at watching the AO podcast or listening to, look up some good Caribbean style restaurants, some good Caribbean food. You feel me? All right. Before I go, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the Culture Network, follow us on IG at the.culture.network. Also follow me on Instagram. You feel me? DJ Re84. Also, I did promise a promo code, right? For the AO merch. Yes, I did. It's Soca 2023. You get 25% off on your first order. All right, 25% off if you use promo code Soca 2023. All right, until next time, I'm your boy DJ Reed. Leave your comments down below. Tell me what you think of the podcast so far. Or if you got any ideas, anybody you want me to try to bring on, or if you want to be a guest on the show, hit me up on IG, DM me at the.culture.network. All right. Until next time, I'm your boy DJ Reed, and I'm out. Peace.